Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another cast. Guys, I have something for you very, very special today. I have a game that I've been told is like the most legendary game of TA Escalation that has ever been played, ever, on the whole planet. No hyperbole. In fact, this game is so epic and so out of control and so obnoxious that people were in the Discord flaming each other, crying, telling Wotan to delete his mod. They were DDoSing the website. They were reporting each other's accounts. They were sending death threats to one another and mail bombs in the spirit of the Unabomber. And speaking of bomber, our teal player has already produced one, and it is now flying to the south here. Oh, he turns it around at the last moment. I don't know what that's about. But either way, this is a very fast bomber. Very early bombing run, and Blue already prepared a little bit here. He's got some defenders up. So Teal going to have to go for different target. He will instead get some of Dark Green's mexes. That is frustrating. Rather annoying. I don't know if it justifies the cost of the bomber, though. I don't think he did enough damage because if you look at his own start, he sort of had, he hasn't even got all four mexes himself, and he didn't put Dark Green that far behind. So I wouldn't say that was like universe-altering bombing run at the start. It was okay. He got a couple mexes. But anyway, back to the game. Guys, I have heard this game is actually so epic and so insane that you better strap yourselves in. Put your panties on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because this is going to be a long, epic escalation match that goes to T3 and beyond, I'm sure. In fact, this game is so long that I'm probably going to have to do it in 2 parts. So I'll keep it both in the same video, but I'm going to have to like cast half the game and then take a break. And then cast the other half. So you're going to have to wait an hour. You're going to have to watch the game for an hour. And then you're going to have to like wait. And just watch a blank screen for an hour. And you're going to do that on my account, right? Because I'm putting my effort into this. So you can just watch a blank screen. I'm just kidding. I'll cut out the middle time. But I will cast this in 2 parts, guys. Because it's such a long game. I probably won't be able to do it all in one go. But it will all be one video. And you won't have to watch paint dry in between the 2 takes. Anyway, let's jump into it. Again, this is a map called Once Upon a Time. It is massively huge. You've got the 4 mech start. This map can, I think, support up to... it looks like there's 6 different starts, but I don't understand that exactly because Dota... did I say Dota? TA can only have 10 players total. This one will be a 4v4. So I couldn't exactly explain why there's... Oh no, there's 8. Excuse me, there's 8. So this map seems to be made for a 4v4. Someone fire the caster, please. He's a frickin' idiot. Anyway. Brown attempting some aggression here, but it's not going to get much accomplished. So anyways, there's... 8 mexes for each player at the start. And then there's some metal in the middle. But there's a ton of metal on these ridges here. So whoever can control these 2 ridges on the east and west here, that team will have a big advantage. It's obviously made to be a map for longer games and big team play. In the words of Donald Trump, it's huge. It's fantastic. It's gonna be great. We got the best players. And we got the best maps. We got the best people. China. Okay, guys. Let's introduce the players. Yellow is, let's see, TPU. I used to know what that means. I don't know what that means anymore. Purple, Merv, very well known and good player. Brown, we have Shadow. In, what are we calling it? We called it teal before. We have the Rat Pack Hasano TRP. In green, we have the All-Seeing Eye. I'm sure that's a Smurf. I don't know who this player actually is. I'm sure that's a Smurf. But yellow moving in here with a nice little Gator attack. And he will come in right as this LLT finishes and probably kill the Khan as well. So we'll have to see how much damage yellow can get accomplished here. Green saying, I guess I don't get help, you know, crying. Why should he get help? He's getting 1v1. He's not, you know. Help yourself, bro. You're getting 1v1'd here. You know, asking for help makes sense if you're getting 2v1, which can happen in team game. You can get 2v1, 3v1, 4v1, but, you know, why does he need help? He needs to get good. But having said that, the Pyro does come out at the opportune time, and he will ultimately clean this up. Okay, so the chat, the players in the chat just confirmed that green here is Boogie. And even dark green admitting that he's complaining. So pretty funny, a little bit of comedy happening early on in the game. A little bit of comedic value. As you know, green thought that he should be able to just tech to T2 and everyone else should defend him. Because he's the main character. He's the character in the anime with the blonde hair. So, or like the purple hair. So you know that he's the one that matters. Everyone else is just kind of an NPC. But anyways, let's see. Red is Goalie. Very well known big game player, big game hunter. Bully in dark blue and in dark green. Finally, we have no rules. So guys, lots of really good talent in this game, but I already said that. I already said we have the best players. I already did my Trump impression, so you already know we have the best. And Boogie moving in with his pyros. Very quick pyros here. So this is one thing about Escalation, man. It gets to T2 so fast. If we were watching a Protea game, it would still be on T1, but yeah, in Escalation, especially on these big maps, it gets to T2 so quickly. I mean, it gets to T3 pretty quickly, actually. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be pretty fun when we get to the T3 phase. Strap yourself in, guys. This is going to be a long one. Get your popcorn. You know, get your Coke and caffeine. Get all of your unhealthy, unnutritional snacks. Ruin your body. Destroy your well-being. And let's enjoy this game together, because I'm sure it is going to be a banger. Dark green moving up the northeast side of the map. And light blue has fuck all. Excuse my language. But he has nothing. He's got one sentinel and working on some brawlers. But dark green smartly including air defense in this composition. However, brown will move in to help, and he did just finish a second sentinel, and this geothermal was upgraded with missiles, and so I may have underestimated light blue here. That was a nice defense. The two sentinels, the geothermal power plant, the brawlers coming at just the right time, and his teammate also pitching in. Very, very nice, and of course, brawlers are the bane of T1 units. Quite powerful gunships indeed. and nothing in this army can really even hurt them. So, my god. Teal defending himself just in time. That was like watching a Michael Bay movie. He had the defenses just the opportune moment. He did, however, lose all of his mexes up to his base, so it's not as though he lost nothing. It's not as though Dark Green accomplished nothing, but I really was scared he was going to lose everything. But ye of little faith, Teal does keep the dream alive for the northern team. It would have been quite bad if he died there. And already, as I said, both teams are going to try to jockey for position of these plateaus, as you see. This is quite an important resource on the map just because there's tons of metal, and also it gives you positional advantages. You can build long-range plasma cannons. Anyone that just watched my Protea game will know the power of the Bertha. So, a lot of advantage to taking the mountains, both positionally and economically. And Purple attempting another attack. This time with the Maverick. Man, when I started casting Escalation, the Maverick was considered so overpowered, and I miss those days, man. Oh, Boogie doing it again. No help. Where's my help? Boogie. How come I'm the main character in the anime? How come you guys aren't fucking helping me? So, Boogie obviously has the pink hair. Everyone else is supposed to be fucking protecting him, obviously. How could you not know that? This Maverick taking scalps, very impressive their use of. Man, if he had like a second Maverick, he might have taken out Boogie's entire base. No help. No one's helping. Oh man, if Boogie watches this, he's probably gonna be so upset. It's like, why is the caster making fun of me? I'm just asking for help. God. The light blue making use of these brawlers. Very nice, but there is quite a bit of air defense. English please. There is air defense. And that will force light blue to retreat, but look, light blue is doing something that a lot of players don't do. This is like surprisingly rare, where people build repair pads and actually use them. And so light blue is actually sending these gunships in, getting what damage he can done, and then repairing them. Most air raids NTA are suicide runs. You just get as much damage done as you can, and then you just expect that your aerial force is going to get demolished, just destroyed in the process. It's like a kamikaze run. So it's rare to see players actually attempting to sort of save their gunships and bring them back to fight another day. I mean, you would almost think the repair pad is it's like a cheat code. No one builds it right. It's like, what? That's in the game? You can repair your aircraft and send them back to fight another day? You don't just have to send your pilots on a suicide mission? Yes, that's actually a thing. You can actually do that. So props to light blue, man. That's we'll see if these brawlers come in useful later. If keeping them all alive pays off. I will say this, if he sacrificed all his brawlers, he would have nothing right now. He would literally have nothing. So the fact that he's keeping them alive does mean that he will have much more of an army than he would have otherwise had. The main character of the anime building some nice defenses, throwing up a Viper. He's decided he can't rely on his teammates anymore. He's gonna have to do everything himself. It is such a weight to carry. He's like Frodo, just hulking the ring up the mountain. Except there's no Sam in this version of the movie. It's just him, you know. He's having to do it all by himself. And Golem's just like pulling him down the mountain like, no! That's green. So the game has hit a bit of a lull here. And let's just check out the player bases, see if there's anything noteworthy happening at the current moment. I just heard an explosion. The hell was that? Okay. Well, I don't know where it is. I don't know what happened there. Sorry guys, I heard an explosion. But anyways, we're in kind of a lull here. One thing I will talk about that's kind of interesting, just sort of when it comes to my viewership. So there's sort of a battle that goes on in my comments. There's sort of a civil war happening in my comment section pretty often. And the way that this war sort of pans out or takes place is that one section of my viewers really likes the Protea gameplay of like staying on T1, using a lot of micromanagement and like bomber control and you know, sort of the Protea style gameplay. And other viewers I have like the escalation gameplay where you just escalate, you know, as the mod is named, and giant robots exploding each other in mass numbers and things going boom. And, you know, attacking up the tiers as quickly as possible. T3 and T4 and all the mayhem. And this group of players cannot agree. The other form of TA is sacrilegious to them. It's a blasphemy. You know, basically, there is only one true pure TA, and the other one is an insult. And it's sort of funny to watch. It's funny as a caster, right? Because, you know, no matter what I cast, people are like, this sucks. But this game in particular will be a clown fiesta for sure. We're not going to see much T1, I think, after the probably 30 or 40 minute mark. That's just not going to be a thing anymore. Or if it is, they'll be nice for generous explosions. You know, they'll be good eye candy, but that's about it. Yellow, the first that I can see teching to T3 here, going for the core Ultra K-Bot Gantry. I personally think, like, no one gives a shit, no one asked me, but I personally think that the core T3 K-Bot Gantry is one of the strongest T3 production facilities in Escalation. It's just got some of the best units in the frickin' game. It's got the Juggernaut, the Vindicator, which is like a mobile tactical missile. It's like basically it shoots tactical nukes, but they can't be countered. They can't be shot down. It's got the Krogoth. What else does it have? It has all manner of nastiness. Oh, it's got the... almost said it's got the Pounder, but no, maybe the Pounder is on the vehicle side. So maybe it doesn't have the Pounder, but when it's finished, we'll look at what it has. It has all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a really great... It's a really great structure. It basically has everything. And I mean, the ARM T3 K-Bot factory is okay, but it just doesn't even compare. It's nowhere. I don't think it's anywhere near as good. But maybe I should just speed up the game a little bit, because at this point the players are building their army. All right, this is done. All right, so. Oh, it's the Arbitrator. That's what it's called. Mobile heavy missile launcher. 9,000 energy per shot. It basically shoots a mini nuke that can't be countered. The Juggernaut, the Armored Assault Siege K-Bot. 3,000 energy per shot. this thing is just a monster. It's kind of like slow-moving death. That's not a great description. The Widow, of course, very strong T3 units. I've had people in my comments just calling these overpowered. The Talos as well. The Talos is the hybrid missile assault K-bot. The Defiler, we've seen those do some work, though on this map they probably wouldn't be too good. But then the Krogoth, just a lot of really great options. I don't know if the Widow has like anti-air capability. Oh no, the Talos I think does. Yeah, the Talos has anti-air capability, so the Talos is a very well-rounded K-bot. So I don't know, I just really love the core T3 K-bot lab. I think it's amazing. But enough with my rambling. Purple is moving in, and he has an army of shooters and Zeusai. Zeus. And this is not a bad composition. The Zeuses are meant for the front line tanking, and in the back line we have shooters. They're massive DPS. Man, the shooters are so cool. They just shoot like, they don't fire very often, but each shot doing a massive amount of damage. You can't even see the bullet. It's like instantaneous. So purple moving down the field, wreaking swaths of destruction in the southern team's base. Imagine if his allies had helped him. Imagine if purple had teammates. You know, if there's any player in the game right now that has a right to say, like, help, it's purple. He's taking on 3 players right now. 3 players had to come to stop him. If any of his teammates had built an army, the southern team would be dead right now. They would just be dead. But that's one of the reasons that like these 4v4 escalation games are so frustrating, because the team is so rarely on the same page. Everyone just kind of does their own thing. Even in the Protea game that I just casted, you know, every single player on the western team went a Bertha. You know, I don't even think they discussed that. They weren't like, well, let's all build a Bertha. Everyone just thought, let's do this one thing at the same time, and it certainly was not the best use of their resources, but nonetheless, like, so for example, if yellow and purple had coordinated here, their attack would have been so much more effective. Yellow with a nice little contingent of sumos. It looks to be about 7 here, and mantis for anti-air. So sumos are sort of the king of T2. For core, for arm, the king of T2 is the penetrator. But these sumos, they can take a lot of punishment, and they can give a lot of punishment as well. And a defiler in here, additionally, single defiler. That won't get too much accomplished, but it does seem like the southern team has enough, with 3 players pushing back this attacking force. It should be, hopefully, enough to get them out. And blue on the Fido game plan. So ultimately, if the northern team had attacked in unison, I think it would have worked better, but light blue bringing in his gunship army that he has been building up for about 30 minutes now. As predicted, we don't see, it's about 30 minutes into the game and we don't see much T1. The T1 phase is over, as the battlefield is now ruled by sumos and Fidos, it seems. Teal now working on his T3 Air. Now, ARM T3 Air is amazing. And they have the Aurora, probably my favorite unit in all of Escalation, the T3. It's like a nuclear bomber. Well, I don't know. It's like It's like a tactical nuke carpet bomber. It's hard to even explain. You just have to see it. You just have to watch the magic. I can't really explain it. It is truly a sight to behold. And maybe we'll get to see that. Let's check out the player bases, see what they've been up to as I've been rambling on. Like I said, light blue going into T3. Yellow has stopped production for a while as he works on a antimatter reactor. This would be like the advanced fusion reactor. He has already built somewhere. He's upgraded his commander, so he's built an upgrade center. Purple's now working on T3, but, or no, wait, that's brown. So purple actually is still on T2, and he's just building a lot of defenses. However, he's got a lot of good defenses at the front here. Dark green has brought in some sumos, but there's so many gunships. That is a lot of rapiers. Rapiers and brawlers all together, and this sumo does not stand a single chance in hell. It is gone. So even brown has gone into error. And dark green sending in a few fighters, but I don't think with 5 Avengers there will be too much getting accomplished there. And as I predicted, light blue bringing down the Hawks and the Freedom Fighters, taking those out of the sky, those annoying vermin, the core vermin. Guys in the chat, people watching the video, are you an ARM or a core player? Put it in the comments and explain why. Are you part of the ARM resistance, or are you part of the core revolution? Which faction do you prefer and why? I want to know your opinions. All of your opinions are valid unless they're wrong. Unless you're green. If you're green, then your opinion's not valid. Okay, actually, I think what's going on here that I've been missing is that light blue has a couple of repulsors, the T2 tactical nuke launcher. And I think he's been using those on the land here. I've just been missing them, but, you know, it hasn't been super impactful overall. I think mostly he's just kind of trying to keep green at bay. I won't say it hasn't done anything. Let's see what the range is of these. Just give me a second here. So this is the range. He can kind of hit the edge there of that. But yeah, it hasn't been... those tactical nukes haven't been super impactful. Defilers coming down. Now, I did say I didn't think defilers would play much of a part this game, but yellow is building them. I think maybe that's a waste of resources on this map. Defilers are really the best for like surprise attacks. On maps with a lot of terrain that's hard to navigate, or water because they're amphibious. They're good as a surprise attack, but on this map I don't think defilers are going to be very useful. But yeah, purple's defensive line here, very nice. This is going to halt a lot of aggression as it inevitably comes. Red on core T3 K-bots as well. And green. So a lot of players seem to agree with me that core T3 K-bot is indeed one of the strongest strategic options that Escalation has to offer. There's just so many good units. And it's not as though the ARM T3 K-bot is garbage. It's just not as good. Like, Wotan's probably watching this video saying, "You're wrong! You know, you're wrong." Alright. Don't at me. Don't at me, please. Red working on his 6th fusion. And building some Talos. So, yeah, this game, we have some sort of eco-management simulator going on. As a yellow seems to have the best economy of anybody right now, and that's partly because he's taken over this northern, this western plateau, and he's converted all these spots into moho extractors, and he also has decent defense as well. Doomsday machine here with a few immolators and some nice air defense. So yellow really doing a great job, I'd say, of all the players. Probably doing the most right now. Certainly economically, he's going to be at the top of the charts. And light blue, on the other hand, is probably going to be the weakest because he's just got this tiny corner in the top right and nothing else. So, yeah, that's the state of the game. I can't. I'm not seeing anything extremely noteworthy. Dark green also going into the core T3 aircraft hangar. So I don't see anyone building nukes or Berthas or anything too incredible, except that yellow is now working on a Krogoth. And Krogoths in Escalation sort of make Krogoths in OTA look like pansies. Krogoths in Escalation are like a T3.5 unit. They're not quite T4, but they're also not quite T3 either. They're extremely powerful. Much stronger than they were in OTA. Of course, they're also much more expensive. How much do they cost? Let's see how much a Krogoth costs. Oh my god. Over 3 million. Over 3 million energy and 30,000 metal. So, not a cheap investment, but hold that thought because finally we have some action in the middle as these two forces converge. Zeus's and shooters on one side, Panthers and Fidos on the other, and it seems to me that the Panther Fido army is winning this. Fidos are a very good unit to just spam because they shoot these massive volleys of shells. That are good against clumps of units. Good against T1 and T2. Just sort of an all-round, very strong weapon. And yellow is slowly encroaching closer and closer to the south. If he gets close enough with these toasters, he will start to be able to bombard green's base. And green will no doubt begin asking for help once again, being the main character of the game. So green's got to be careful. He can't just let yellow do whatever he wants. He's already sort of ceded control of this plateau to him, but he cannot just allow yellow to build toasters wherever he would like, because these toasters will become a problem very quickly. The toaster range is nothing to scoff at. Let's see what the range. Okay, so this one can't hit his base, but as you can see, each one he builds will get closer and closer. And yeah, he just finished that one. So yeah, green has to counterattack here. He has to react. He can't just let yellow do what he wants. But I don't know. These toasters are very, very strong, especially against T1. These thuds really are not going to do much. However, a tactical nuke comes in and takes out a small group of anti-air. That toaster will go down, so those thuds is something accomplished. Not a total waste there. Is green doing his best to hold this off as long as possible. Another tactical nuke. This time it will get more accomplished. Taking out a larger group of anti-air. But that toaster is still very healthy, and now purple coming to help. However, here in the north, dark green mounting his own attack, bringing some sumos into the fray. I shudder to even see how many kills these have. 11 on that one, 16 on that one, 20 on that one. Another tactical nuke coming in there. So those tactical nukes won't do too much damage to the toasters, but they do a lot of damage to the mobile units. Another tactical nuke. So yellow had all these sumos just waiting in the wings here for the opportune moment. However, green does have a lot of defense, and he does have red there as well. T3 now on the field, Talos. So it's going to take a little bit more than that to break this northern approach for the southern team. And this arbitrator may have been, I think it's the arbitrator and this tactical nuke launcher have been dealing most of the damage. Light blue with his first Tempest onto the field. The Tempest, the T3 missile gunship for ARM. So that will, at the very least, help defend. Unfortunately, that Tempest isn't going to be very effective if it tries to attack. Blue bringing some spiders into the fray here. It's going to try to paralyze the army. And green with some defilers. I said earlier that I didn't think defilers would really make much of an appearance this game, but players are proving me wrong. I don't know how effective they've been, but they have been used. Tactical nukes flying in from both sides. Tempest in the background, bringing in its missiles, and some brawlers coming in to try to hold this off. Yellow has brought his commander to the front line, assuming that's his real commander and not a decoy. It could be a decoy. I'd be amazed if that's his real commander. This is so dangerous. He's gonna die. This is a very ill-advised by yellow. It's got to be that's a decoy commander. So I don't know what the point of that was. More decoy commanders coming down, and now our first Krogoth of the game with a Tempest behind it, supporting it. And oh my god, these Krogoth. Look at the carnage. Disgusting. There is a Corona. It's not the beer. It is a shield. Oh my god, this Krogoth. It just gives you chills, doesn't it? You just... What the hell? See how many kills it has. 43 kills already. This monster. Moving down the field. Nigh unstoppable. However, there is a Juggernaut, and the Juggernaut are sort of specialists at killing T3 units. If you can keep them away, the Juggernauts are slow, but they have good range. Got to keep them out of range of this Krogoth. The Krogoth will shred it if it can get close enough. As I said, yellow really the star of the show here. Been putting in work. This Krogoth moving through. He's attempting to take out the defensive line of our main character Green here, and he will get most of it. He will probably die trying. This Krogoth now getting very low. 85 kills. 86. So I don't know if he's attempting to retreat the Krogoth, but I think this is a little too late. Would have liked to have seen him take it into Green's base and explode it, self-destruct it, get as much damage as done as possible. But very well done by Yellow. He will do a lot of damage. However, I don't know if it was enough damage. There are now metal corpses littering the battlefield that either team can pick up, but most likely the southern team will reclaim for their economy. And this Tempest, still here, 95 kills on this beast. And Light Blue using it well. He's really keeping it out of range of the anti-air defense, bringing a second one in. So this is how you use Tempest, guys. You don't want to put them into the combat. Try to keep them on the edge of their range and deal as much damage as possible. Okay. So now Yellow also on a T3 core aircraft hangar, building the Vindicator. What is... Let's double check. The Vindicator is the Armored Assault Command VTOL. So, you know what? Forget all that. It's just a flying battleship. That's what it is. The Vindicator. Another tactical nuke. Making it to... Well, attempting to be shot at the front line, but there was an anti-nuke there. So... yeah. Nice job by the southern team holding this off. They do defend the first Krogoth of the game, and Red building a nice nice army of Juggernauts here. Again, the Juggernauts, one of the best defensive units in the game, having a massive range, huge AoE splash, but they also have purple head laser, disintegrator laser attached to their heads. Yellow bringing in some Skynet. The Skynet, the core sort of floating anti-air platform. It's kind of hard to see, but they have 3 Cobras on them, 3 flak cannons each. So those will wipe out the skies. And Yellow bringing his second Krogoth. However, the southern team is a little better defended this time. They have 3 Juggernauts to speak of. They have, again, a Krogoth moving down. Lots of decoy commanders. A Nova here in the back. 2 kills on that. So the Nova hasn't accomplished too much. Nor do I expect the Nova to accomplish too much, because I think the Nova is kind of a garbage unit. But I will not get on that tangent. That is a tangent for a different day. Yellow with a nice use of his air. And a dark green with a Vindicator as well, the core floating T3 battleship. So yeah, this game still very close, and both teams doing a good job of just hanging on. The southern team in particular. Southern team has really been on the defensive for the past 10 minutes or so, but Red working on T4, Goalie going to the T4 phase. So I'm just going to check out the player bases real quick so that I don't miss anything. See if there's anything on the map that we should know about. Yellow still mostly pumping out T3 air. And so is... Oh, okay. This is noteworthy. Light blue has 2 retaliators. These are strategic nukes. The only problem is there's a lot of anti-nukes on the field, so in order for light blue's nukes to land, we've got to kill the anti-nukes first. Yellow moving in with his Krogoth again, but there's a lot of defense here. A lot of great units. The Vindicator in particular. 9 kills on it. And light blue using these Tempests, keeping them at their max range. So the northern team putting a lot of pressure on this west side. But the southern team is hanging on. They haven't folded. Vindicator belonging to yellow will now enter the fray, but he's got to be careful because this thing is taking a lot of damage. There's so much air defense down here. Battle between Vindicators, and yellow's Vindicator is almost certainly dead. It will explode there. Blue now moving through with a huge... Oh, 56 minutes. So the game crashed. Game crasher. That was a good time, guys. That's the part 1. I didn't know it was going to crash, but we will... I will bring you the second half. All right, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of the cast. Part 1 ended when the game unceremoniously exploded at my expense. You know, thank you so much, Escalation, for making me look like a clown caster. But you know what? It was time to take a break anyway. We are at part 2 of the game. I can't guarantee this is exactly where we were, but it's close. And now we see the north side sieging. There's a Nova, there's a Krogoth here. Both teams fully on T3 now. We have truly reached the point of no return. T1 units don't even exist. They are just fodder. You might see the occasional Jeffy just for scouting purposes, but they serve no battlefield use whatsoever. They are simply fodder. Players are building Krogoths like peewees now. And what an epic fight this is. But it does seem like Red's Krogoth will go down because Yellow simply has more. He's got the Vindicator, but the Vindicator will also go down, so this middle area has become a complete no man's land. Look at all dark green's constructors. Let's check out the base, guys. There's a lot of action happening, but I don't want to miss anything important. Like I said earlier, light blue does have the 2 retaliators. These are strategic nukes. If he can take out the anti-nuke defense, he has a shot at winning the game with those. I'd like to see an Aurora Stratus, not quite what I want. But Red is still working on T4. And he started this quite a while ago. T4 is a huge investment, guys. That's truly game-ending sort of option there. You don't want to invest into T4 lightly. Oh my god, that was crazy. That tactical missile just kind of dropped. Never seen that before. Just sort of ran out of fuel and just dropped. But what a game. Guys, I did tell you this was going to be an epic game. So epic that it crashed the recorder, or the replayer. So that's the kind of game we have on our hands. Absolutely insane. 24 kills on this Nova. The players just throwing units at each other. Throwing units into the meat grinder. And thus far, I have not seen a true win condition from either team. Unless Light Blue can somehow get those nukes into the enemy base, that would be a pretty powerful win condition. I have to say, that would be pretty impressive if he could do that. Will the game tell me how many nukes he has? No. This nuke has 20 kills, so he got something in there. But I can't see exactly how many nukes he has stockpiled, unfortunately. And there was an attempt to build a buzzsaw a little closer to the front, but that didn't work out. There's simply too much carnage to allow buzzsaw to be built in no man's land. A buzzsaw being a sort of like a Bertha on steroids. Chain gun Bertha. Some nice brawlers here to hold off the aggression. Both teams doing a great job of defending. Neither side really making much headway into the opponent's base. Brown leaves, so Shadow leaves the game. I'm not sure how much he was really contributing anyway. All of his things will go to Light Blue. Brown probably after about an hour. I don't know how long. The timer in the bottom left is messed up, guys, because I had to restart the replay. But we're over an hour in, I think. So after an hour, Brown was like, yeah, this game's never going to end. I've got real life responsibilities. Can't no-life these games. Like you pathetic losers. You sit around and play Escalation all day, every day, and have nothing else going on. You know who you are. But still yet, there is no progress being made on either side. This is truly trench warfare in the most metaphorical sense. It's just carnage happening at an unprecedented scale, and neither team really able to make any progress at all. A bastion being put up here. Light Blue now has so many resources he can't even use them all. Look at all this. 3 heavy fusion reactors. Vindicator coming in to try to stop this Krogoth. Vindicators just shoot blue lasers like like they're made out of they're on a bargain deal. Blue lasers are usually extremely expensive to build, but the Vindicator just has so many of them, and each one doing a massive amount of damage. Each blue laser is going to kill most units in the game instantly. I mean, the amount of firepower these monstrous floating fortresses have is something to behold. But they have so many T3 anti-air structures. What is it? The whiplash and the eviscerator. Those things are so expensive, but they're absolutely incredible at killing T3 and T4 air if you have enough of them. So again, we've reached the stage of just clown fiesta. Neither team really able to do much of anything. Red almost done with his experimental unit foundry, and maybe with T4 the southern team can break the stalemate, but I wouldn't count on it. And I wouldn't count on T4 being built anytime soon. Yellow continuing to eco up. Look at all this. Guys, if one of these vaults, experimental resource generator or experimental storage, exploded, it would take out everything. It would just be a chain reaction. Yellow's entire base would go up in smoke. Krogoth's just being treated like pansies here. These Tempests don't really stand a chance. There's just not much that can get into the into that area without being deleted from the game. Now red building and an experimental construction bot, so not going straight into T4. He's getting a constructor first. Red going into intimidators and building the monolith. One thing I will say is that the monolith is it's a structure that I think like increases the effectiveness of other structures. So like maybe it increases the fire rate of the intimidators and the eviscerators. But I have no idea how exactly it works. Like there's not much documentation. So if anyone in the comments knows how the hell the eviscerator or the monolith works, what does it actually do? Oh my god, look at all this. Red's eco is actually insane. Take a look at the graphs here. Red at almost 600 metal a second. It's the highest in the game, and 75,000 energy. You know, at this point I'm just saying numbers. I don't think it makes any difference. Yeah, at this point I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass. 10 billion, 500 million, 763,000. Metal. That's how much metal is being produced. So, I mean, what to say? What to say about this? Purple lagging a little bit there. Either purple's lagging or me. Please don't crash again, senpai. The arbitrator has now become a de facto. If you look at this arbitrator, where was it at? He's surrounded with dragon's teeth, so it's become like a de facto tactical missile launcher. Yellow can't even begin to get his Vindicators anywhere near the southern side with all of these eviscerators. Guys, like these eviscerators, he's throwing them up like defenders, but these things are not cheap to build. They are so damn expensive. And this player, one experimental construction bot wasn't enough. He's built 3 and now he's working on a 4th one, so God only knows what red has in store for us, whatever it is. It's going to require a ton of construction power. Look at this. Groups of Vindicators going at it. Sort of sitting stationary like flying battleships. Seems like yellow will come out on top there. The level of destruction is it's incredible. Now working on a 5th experimental construction bot. What in God's name could you need 5 of these for? Each one of them has enough build power to create probably a T2 structure in like a second. Why would you need 5 of those? I can't even imagine what red is planning here. Building that much production power cannot bode well for the northern team. But I don't see that the northern team really has much of a plan either. Red has certainly done a good job of securing his base. This is a very well designed base, very symmetrical, sort of pleasing to the eyes. No air is going to come within like 1,000 meters of any of this. Still pumping out experimental construction bots. What in God's name? What in Thor's name could red need that much construction power for? And the useless novas just sort of sitting in the back line, sending some shells to the middle, but ultimately I don't think those will accomplish too much. Oh, here we go. The Dictator. So dark green is building a Dictator. The Dictator is like Super Bertha, or the Super Intimidator. Super LRPC. This thing fires 3 shots. 3 massive balls of plasma that explode in a huge area. They require an ungodly amount of energy to create and to fire. So right now the thing costs over 8 million energy to create, and then when it fires it requires 120,000 energy per shot. Green has finally built up the forces. He has finally decided it's time to attack. He feels that the show has not been about him enough. He wants to be in the spotlight again, and so he will be moving forward with a huge army of mostly T2 sumos and Mortys, with some Talos thrown in. And where was this Dictator? It's still being built. It's going to take a little bit longer. And now Red has finally stopped building experimental construction bots. He's got like 10. And he has gone into a Tsar. We have seen Tsars in previous games. The Tsar is sort of like Uh-oh. Okay, so yellow telling, or blue is nuking this army. He has sent a nuke from the north. I don't know where it went. Oh, it got intercepted. It was up here. So it looks like there's anti-nukes. Yeah, here's the anti-nuke, I think. Okay, here's the nukes. You can see them on the screen. They keep getting intercepted. By what? I'm not sure. Let's see how far this nuke gets. Oh my god. It may make it all the way. And they need this to stop Green's army. Oh, but it's a little off course. The nuke landed over there. It needed to land here. I don't know what that was all about. Dark Green telling his team that the dictator is almost up. Once the dictator gets up, that could be a game-ending proposition. Guys, somehow blue was destroyed. I don't know how he died. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to blue. I'm sorry. I think he left. That's... Dark Green is saying chicken shit, so I'm assuming that blue just gave up. He's been playing for about an hour and a half, however long they've been playing, and probably gave up. But the way he did it was very bad manners. He should have given all his units. You can give all your units to your teammates before you leave. The only thing you can't give is your commander. But yeah, it was very bad manners for blue to just leave like that. He could have at least gifted all of his stuff to somebody. It's so now it's a 3v4. The northern team definitely has the advantage, being a player up. And now there's a huge hole, obviously, in the middle of their base, which will allow the northern team to potentially take advantage of the opening here and win the game. Lots of indicators coming in. These 3 Krogoths taking a ton of damage. But god, there's so much air defense. It's unbelievable. This match, truly at the epic stage. All 3 Krogoths will live. These 2 will live with a sliver of health. And at this point, it's hard to tell if these Krogoths are even worth repairing. Like, even if you repair them, they're just going to get destroyed anyway. Here's the first 3 dictator shots. Oh. You can see each one basically a nuke. The dictator doesn't fire very often. It only fires like once a minute. Unless these monoliths increase the firing speed, which they may, because I'm not exactly sure what the monolith does. That's why I asked any of my viewers, what do these do? And do the monoliths stack? Like, does building more of them help? Does that increase the firing speed if you build more of them? I do know the dictator has a massive cooldown, but that's because it shoots like 3 nukes. So it doesn't fire very often, but when it fires, it is incredibly powerful. Here go the next 3 dictator shots. Though, not great targets. The southern team needs to scout what they're shooting at. The dictator can't just be shooting at nothing. But anyways, this Tsar about halfway done. The Tsar, sort of, you can think of it like the alien saucers from Independence Day. Or if you've played Forged Alliance, it's like the Tsars from Forged Alliance. It just flies over and sort of nukes everything around it. But because it's T4 though, it has an unbelievable amount of health. I think that's what this. I think that's the Tsar, unless I'm wrong. I thought the Tsar. No, I am wrong. I am wrong. That's. I was thinking of something else. Hang on. Let's see what this is. The Tsar is the experimental mobile Omni. Yeah, I was thinking of the Zenith. The Zenith, the Central Consciousness Command Ship. This thing is amazing. If you ever get to see one of those. I had one of those in one of my replays. Anyways, the Tsar, I think, it just has a massive amount of radar coverage. If you ask me, it seems like kind of a waste of money. Something is shooting these ion beams, and I'm not sure, so I apologize. Might be like a T3 or T4 unit that does that. But either way, this hole made in Dark Green's base is now being exploited here. What is causing the ion cannons? Forgive me, everyone. I'm not sure what's doing that. I don't see a unit. Could be some kind of experimental defense. But if it is, I don't see it. Krogoth has made it to the front line here. He will take out the Doomsday machines. Does a pretty good job before exploding. Oh, here it is. So this is the... Oh, okay, so this is the Tsar. The Tsar can do this. I guess the Tsar can create the ion cannons. I'm not sure how useful they are, though. I haven't... I mean, they certainly look cool, but I can't tell if they're doing anything. But the main thing the Tsar is doing that's really impressive is... Like, this is Red's vision. He can see the whole map. And like at this stage of the game, being able to see the whole map is like, it's so important. Especially to give Green some like targets for the Dictator. Second Tsar here. A nuke? Oh my god. There's no nuke defense? Oh, there is, but it's run out of anti-nukes. Oh, chain reaction. There goes everything. Green's base has just been decimated. The net worth of everything that was just destroyed was astronomical. Light Blue has just stockpiled enough nukes to overwhelm their anti-nuke defense. Dark Green moving in with some Vindicators, but it's not enough. There's too much air defense. Another nuke being launched. Green now complaining again. And leaving. He couldn't be the main character. Light Blue took out most of his eco with that one well-placed nuke. And once again, Green could have gifted his stuff to his allies before leaving, but he does the very selfish thing. And now the northern team... Hang on, here's another nuke incoming. It will take out most of that. A little bit of a delayed action there. But now it is 4v2. And I don't know if the southern team can hang on. They've lost 2 of their players. I would like to see Red build something other than Tsars. Like, I don't even know if these ion cannons are doing anything. Aside from making a lot of noise. Light blue with a massive aerial attack. But I just don't know if he realizes how much air defense Red has. Can it actually accomplish anything? My intuition says it can't. There's too much air defense here. Each one of these eviscerators can take out like a T2 bomber in a couple shots. Each one of these is so strong. Like, each one of these eviscerators is like the equivalent to like 100 defenders. And the range is massive. They do so much damage. However, Dark Green's base is not so well defended. So Yellow will attempt to exploit this weakness. There is some air defense in Dark Green's base, but it's nowhere near as much as in Red's base. And the Vindicator army could be successful if they can find his comm, or if they can just take out the anti-nuke. Here's the anti-nuke. They can take that out. Oh. There goes Dark Green. And there goes the Dictator. Now it's just Red. And I have to say, Gully has really been the star of the show this game. His team let him down because Gully really played this spectacularly well. He had the highest net worth at some point. He still does. Look how many Krogoths. Is there a way that Gully could come back and 1v4 these guys? Like, if Gully could 1v4... Just imagine how crazy of a comeback. But no. Yellow now in the back of his base. And there are shields here. But if one of these antimatter reactors goes up, they all go up. And already there was a chain reaction that took out a ton of eco. The Vindicator will eventually die. Yellow not out of it yet. He's still in the game. He didn't lose his whole base. He just lost some of it, a lot of it. A lot of his eco. But there's about 6 Krogoths walking up the map here, being supported by these Tsar ion cannons. I couldn't tell you exactly what these ion cannons are doing. I don't know if they do damage or what. They just look so funny. Now the Armageddon in trouble. I don't even know if I saw this. Oh, this thing doesn't have any kills, so I think it was just built. This thing was just finished. And now will die before it can even get a shot off. Oh my god. Okay, goalie has claimed one scalp. That is so many Krogoths. Can he win from here? There's only 2 players left. I forgot that one of the northern players did leave earlier, but he did give his base to his allies, which is much more courteous than the douchebags on the southern team chose to be. These Krogoths feel nigh unstoppable. Backed up by the Tsars. I wish I could tell you what these ion beams even did. Can Red pull out a victory? Can he snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? I really thought it was over, but Red playing his heart out here. So many Krogoths. And there goes T4 factory. He's making it into the heart of Yellow's base. Yellow in a lot of trouble. More carnage happening over here. Someone in the chat, if you know what these Tsar ion beams do, please tell me. Yellow will tap out. Holy crap. Red has done it. All of his teammates gave up. Every single one of his teammates abandoned him without even bothering to donate their stuff. Yeah, I wish I knew what the Tsar did. I wish I knew what in the world these ion beams even were. It says mobile omni, so it doesn't really say exactly. Doesn't really say exactly what that does in the description. It doesn't look like the ion beams are actually targeting anything. That's why I'm a little confused. It's not like they're homing in on particular targets. They're just kind of everywhere. I don't know if they're like screwing up the radar, like making it difficult for the enemy to target the Krogoths or what, but nonetheless, goalie will pull out a victory. Again, another insane comeback. Red was basically 1v4. All 3 of his teammates left. Shout out to Boogie. Shout out to Boogie in particular for main character syndrome. That was pretty entertaining. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that game. It was pretty epic. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the dictator actually doing something, but yeah, we didn't quite get to see that. And I feel like I have more questions than answers this game. But thank you for watching, everyone. And I suppose I will see you in the next cast.